Hi, I'm Pamela Cole of the Columbus Civil Service Commission. I am here today to talk to you about the Commission's role in the selection process for police officers for the City of Columbus. So I know I can get a little bit long-winded, so I've created a few slides to keep me on track so far as timing-wise, so we can get through this expeditiously, right? So the civil service process. So we don't just pull these tests out of the air. We do a very thorough job analysis process. This is where we go out and we gather information via ride-along surveys, interviews with officers to find out what it is that a person needs to know, be able to do first day of the job. And in this case, it's first day of academy. So we don't expect you to know police stuff because they teach you that stuff in the academy, but there are some basic skills that you need to be successful in academy, and that's what we get at. And so we get this information, we bring it back to the office, and we create a test. Now, so far as the public is probably concerned, all that stuff is behind the scenes, but you've seen us put the applications on the website, um, approve or disapprove applications, administer the test, score the test, and then establish an eligible list. So that is, in a nutshell, what we do. But what I want to talk about today is how to apply the four phases of the test, and then some resource materials that will help you prepare for the exam. So how do you apply? We only accept applications online. www.columbus.gov/civil service. You go to the middle of the screen. There's going to be a box. You're going to job centers and current job openings. You want to click that, and that's going to bring up all of the jobs that we currently are taking applications for. But for today's purposes, we're talking about police officers, so we need you to scroll down until you see police officer. Once you click on police officer, it's going to bring up a spec sheet that gives you a lot of information about the job, examples of the job, minimum qualifications and such. And at the top right corner, there will be a button that says apply, and we need you to click that button to actually start the application process. So once you click that button, you're going to get a dialog box that's going to ask you to log into your account, and that's simply your email address and password. If you don't have an account with us, you can create an account using that create an account tab that's right above it, and it'll walk you through the process of putting in your email address and creating a password and all that good stuff. Either route you go, you're going to wind up at the application. The application is very simple. We look for the minimum qualifications to make sure you meet those, and then there's an abbreviated background questionnaire. So for the minimum qualifications, completion of 12th grade or GED, must be at least 20 years of age, have a valid driver's license, and be a U.S. citizen. You'll answer yes or no to those questions. That's simple. And then at the abbreviated background questionnaire, we do recognize that there are some things that can remove people from the process because we do have background standards. If we don't want to waste your time, so we're going to ask you some questions that we know will remove you. So instead of having you go through the process and then saying, I'm sorry, we can't proceed you further in the process, we're going to ask you those questions now just to save your time, okay? So once your application is approved, you've been scheduled to test, you're going to get some testing information. So that's the other portion of what I want to talk about today is the actual test and how to prepare for the test. It is a four-phase test. We have multiple choice, the writing sample, oral exam, what we call the COPE, and the physical test. So I'm going to reference our website a few times today, going back to that same www.columbus.gov/civil service. Underneath the current job tab, about four down, or the fifth one down, you'll see police exams. If you click that, that'll take you into the police series, and we're here for a police officer. So you click police officer, and it's going to bring up a page where if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll get test preparation resources. The main resource that I'm going to reference is the study guide. And once you click that link, it's going to download the study guide to your computer, and you can choose to save it, or you can just go back to the website and pull it up again. It's up to you. But in the study guide, we go over the four phases extensively, giving examples, of the information that's available of the test, and going into each of the different phases in depth. So the first phase is multiple choice. We have the writing sample, we have the COPE, and then the physical test. So it's a lot of information. So I highly encourage you to go to the website and peruse this study guide, because we do not want you to come into the test unprepared. That's why we have this information. We want you to be successful. So the first phase is the multiple choice. It's a four-part test. You have spelling, vocabulary, reading comprehension, and map reading on the test. Map reading is just as it is. There will be some maps. You'll have to look at those and answer some questions based on the map. Reading comprehension, same thing. You're going to read a passage and then answer some questions based on that passage. Spelling and vocabulary, here we're testing your knowledge of spelling and the meanings of different words. We give examples in the study guide under the spelling section, the vocabulary section, the reading and map reading, an example of some of those type questions that you'll see. What I really want to point out in this study guide is the spelling words that are located on page 8. There's an extensive list of spelling words, and we strongly recommend that you take the time to look at these words, to memorize the spelling of these words, the definition of these words, if that's something that you struggle with, especially if spelling and vocabulary is not your forte. So there's a huge list of them. I don't normally suggest printing out the whole study guide, but I do suggest printing out these words and getting started on a few a day until your test day arrives, because these are the words that will be on the spelling and the vocabulary sections of the test. So none of this should come as a surprise to you. When you walk into that test, these are the only words that are going to be on that section. So please make use of this list and dwell into it extensively. So for phase 2, the writing sample, you'll be asked to complete an incident report, because police officers, they do police reports. So for this portion, it's a video-based test where you'll see an officer question a person or persons to gather information. You will be taking notes while that video is playing, and you will be able to use your notes when it comes time for you to do the incident report. The incident report consists of 2 sections. It's a form completion section, and there's a narrative section where you'll describe to us what was happening in the video. Both sections of the incident report will assess your information analysis and your writing skill. Again, we do not want anything on this test to be a surprise to you, so we have given you in the study guide some relevant information, especially with the information analysis portion. And the relevant information is important because it correlates to what we're looking for when we say information analysis. It correlates directly to the relevant information that we give you in the study guide. So there are, 7, 8 different categories that are contained in the study guide. So no matter what scenario you come to from test day, this should not be a surprise to you. You should have gone into that study guide, familiarize yourself with all of those things. You don't have to memorize them because we give them to you on test day. For example, here's relevant information for a missing person. It is in the study guide. We don't ask that you memorize this stuff, but we ask that you become familiar enough with it so that on test day, it's not strange to you. You already know that I know these are the pieces of information that they are looking for in my report. We also have on the website that corresponds to, in the study guide, there's going to be a passing writing sample and a failing writing sample that directly correlates to the practice video that we have on the website. So my suggestion is to go watch that video, write out the information, and then go and compare it to the examples that we have in the study guide, because we tell you what we're looking for, but sometimes people need to see what is it that they're looking for in a passing, what is it that is going to fail me. And so we urge you to go to the website and look at those 2 examples. For phase 3, we have the Columbus Oral Police Exam, which is the COPE. It's a video-based test where we assess your problem-solving skills and your interpersonal skills. You'll see 8 scenes that will be presented to you on a monitor, and you will have to respond to those scenes as if you are the police officer. It's a role-playing scenario. There will be 8 of them, and for each one, you respond as if you are the officer. What we are looking for is your problem sensing and resolution. There's going to be some situation that you have to handle in each one of these videos. What's your solution for it? What are you going to do? And then we also look at your interpersonal relations. How do you relate to different people in different situations? Your body language, your tone, and so forth. Okay. Again, going back to our website, there's a practice video, scenario video, and there is a candidate sample response video. So you can see what we mean when we say eye contact, great body language, and so forth. Okay, so those are there. And then for phase 4, the physical test. This is a fitness test. And if you notice, this chart here talks about an age and gender standard. It is a fitness test, so we don't expect a 50-year-old man to be at the same fitness level as a 20-year-old man. So that's why we have the different standards based on the age. So let's say, for instance, here we have the 3 events. One is a 300-meter run. The second is sit-ups. The third is push-ups. So if we're talking about a 35-year-old man for the run, he has 300 meters. A 35-year-old man has 63 seconds to do it. But a 55-year-old man has 88 seconds to do it. And we do that because it is a fitness test, not necessarily seeing who can do what, but based on your age and gender, you should be performing at a certain standard. And that is what our test gets at. The study guide has lots of fitness information in there to help you get up to where you should be for the test. And we understand everybody's not physically able at this point, but you can increase your fitness abilities and your levels as time goes. So that talks about that. And then going back to our website again, people have questions about what is the setting of the test, how is it administered. We do have a physical test instruction video where you can actually see someone going through the test. Okay. Now for grading and scoring, phases 1, 2, and 4, which is the multiple choice, the writing sample, and the physical test, they're all pass-fail. The only phase that is actually where you receive a score would be COPE. So everyone who passes COPE with a 90 and above will be in the top band, 80 to 89 on COPE will be in the middle band, and 70 to 79 will be in the lower band. Of course, you have to pass it with a 70 or above. Anything below a 70 would be unsuccessful and would have to they would not pass. Okay. Also available on the website, because we normally give information sessions where you can come out to our office and we present information and allow you to answer any questions that you want. But due to COVID and Corona world we're living in today, we're not able to do that. We may eventually do something online, and we'll get that information out. But for now, the only thing that's available is a recorded session that we have from 2019's information session, and it is available on our website too. You go to that same where the test preparation resources are, scroll up, and there's a link for that video there. We are accepting applications July 1st to the 31st. So make sure you get your application in before July 31st. Don't wait till the last minute. If you have any additional questions, because we presented a lot of information in a rather short period of time, you can call us on the police information line at 614-645-0800, or you can email your questions to policefiretesting@columbus.gov. And that is a lot of information in a very short period of time. So remember, if you do have any additional questions, reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist you. And thanks for watching. Mask up and stay safe.